That's their little thing. We have Damien Woody here with us on SportsCenter. You see the final score behind us, and I know a lot of people are shocked to see that right now because the Commanders went into Detroit, took down the #1 seed in the NFC, 45-31, and at times it looked easy.
I feel like there was a point in time where you're like, if there's one team in the NFC I don't want to see right now, it might be the Commanders. And here is why. 14 wins in the regular season. That's what we were expecting of the Lions. The road to the playoff, or the road to the Super Bowl went through Detroit, and the Commanders went in there tonight and just absolutely knocked it out of the park.
Let me tell you something. Jaden Daniels is a stone-cold killer.
He's legit, man. He's legit.
Like, the Detroit Lions blitzed Jaden Daniels on half of his dropbacks. I mean, he completed 12 of 16. I mean, nothing fazed him.
Unfazed, unbothered. I've been calling that all year.
Which is basically the opposite of what was happening with Jared Goff.
Yeah, clearly Jared Goff was, flustered. There was some pressure, but more importantly, some of the passes that Jared Goff was throwing seemed forced. There were a couple of those interceptions. They were forced where he had easy check downs, outlet receivers, and he just kept throwing the ball, trying to push the ball down the field unnecessarily. Yeah. So you could just look at both quarterbacks and see, okay, who's the veteran and who's the rookie?
Right. And, Briscoe made a good point earlier. She said that one team you probably don't want to play right now is the Commanders because they're playing with house money.
So much
they're not supposed to be here anyway, right? And they get into a very relaxed situation, and it felt like it was the Lions who were feeling the pressure of the moment despite being the #1 seed.
I said in the green room with the Washington Commanders, sometimes you play a team, they don't know what they don't know. Like, you look at the Washington Commanders, no one expected the Washington Commanders to be in this situation.
Not even then when the year started.
Exactly, but you know what? When you have a quarterback like Jaden Daniels, that confidence permeates all throughout the team. On offense, on defense, everyone just knows. Because I play with a quarterback like that, Tom Brady, where you just know going into every game, we should win. We got a chance to win because of the guy that we have at the quarterback position.
And that's exactly what they did. Let's take a look at how the Commanders got it done on the road in Detroit against the 1 seed in the NFC. Jaden Daniels. You mentioned Tom Brady. There he is sharing a moment with him pregame. The Lions legends are out. Calvin Johnson in the house. So is Barry Sanders. I'm sorry you're going to be disappointed. I mean, early on it looked good. Jahmyr Gibbs, that's an easy touchdown. Lions strike first. That made it 7-0, and Sanders was like, okay, I see you. Later in the first, Lions now up 7-3. Goff under pressure, and here's one of those times when he lost the ball. Hits, ball comes out, Commanders recover. Goff is upset, obviously, and the Commanders take over. It leads basically to this. Commanders with a 2nd and 5 from their own 42. Daniels has all the time in the world. De'Ami Brown was there, took it for 42 yards, and the Commanders keep it going. 2nd and goal from the 2, give it to Brian Robinson. There's the score, and the Commanders jump out to that 10-7 lead later in the second. Still 10-7. Goff. Amon-Ra St. Brown. That was good. That's a gain of 34. And this was even better. 1st and goal from the 2. Goff fakes the handoff, then's going to find the man in the back of the end zone while falling down. Falling down was great. The Sam Laporta catch was even better. One-handed. Come on. Lions take a 14-10 lead. Back and forth. At what point did I call this game drunk? Right about now. Commanders 1st and 10 at their own 41. Daniels, Terry McLaurin breaking tackles, breaking free, takes it in for a 58-yard score. Back come the Commanders. It's now 17-14. Then 6 minutes left in the half. Lions with a 2nd and 14 from their own 18. Goff has time. That man, sir, does not play for your team. That's Quan Martin. And then Martin takes it back for, wait for it, a pick 6. Commanders go up 24-14. The problem here was, look, the hit. Oof. The hit. Goff was absolutely leveled. They took him to the medical tent. They would evaluate him, and we got a peek at Teddy Bridgewater, now in at quarterback for the Lions. Gibbs gets it, then flips it to some trickery. Jameson Williams. He has room to run. 61 yards of it. I mean, he didn't immediately have it. He found it. I didn't love a triple pump? And then
don't even go there.
Just hang on to the ball.
Don't even go there.
Lions made it 24-21. 3 minutes to go in the half. Commanders, it's Daniels again. again, it doesn't matter what the Lions did. The Commanders had an answer like this one to Zach Ertz, who you'll hear from in a second. Daniels to Ertz, that's a touchdown. 42 points in the second quarter, the highest scoring quarter in postseason history. Commanders had that 10-point lead at the break. In the third, Goff, David Montgomery, who passes it to St. Brown, and then St. Brown has a gain of 20. So that was different. That was unique. Sort of the thing that you can, I guess, expect from this Lions team. And then traditionally here, 2nd and goal at the 8. Just give it to the man who's been doing so much work for you, not just this game, but almost every other game this season. And Gibbs makes it 31-28. Daniels now, with almost the immediate response, keeps it. I do it myself. Commanders keeping this drive alive to go into the 4th. And again, it's 4th down. The only team that goes for it as much on 4th down as the Lions do, it's the Commanders, except for the problem here is that there are 12 men on the field. And that's a costly error because it gives the Commanders 4 fresh ones. On the second one, Robinson, touchdown. Commanders back up by 10, 38-28. Later in the 4th, still that 10-point lead. Lions trying another trick play. Problem is, they don't always work for you. Williams is there to throw it, but that is picked off again this time. Commanders take over. Daniels finds McLaurin. Commanders 3 for 4 on 4th down conversions in this play, and then Jeremy Nichols takes it in to make it 45-28. You thought they were done? No. 32 seconds left. Why not have it end just like this? Just like this for the Lions. Another pick by Jared Goff. Commanders go on the road. They upset the Lions 45-31.
Zach, first off.
Thanks, Kimberly. All right, Damien Woody still with us here. I want to start with the Lions. Look, we got all week now to talk about the Commanders going to the NFC Championship game for the first time since the 1991 season. Look, what Dan Campbell's done in Detroit completely changed the culture there. And when you change the culture, you have success, you also change your expectations, right? So now they're in a position where #1 seed, they had a great year last year. They're supposed to go to the Super Bowl in their mind this season. They did not clearly reach that goal. What is that like when you're playing with different sets of expectations than your history does not suggest?
You know, when you lose games like this, they stick with you more than the big ones. And I know there has to be tremendous disappointment in that Detroit Lions locker room because you work all season long to get that number one seed. Think about it. It went down to week 18 against their division rival, against the Minnesota Vikings, to earn a #1 seed. And then your first game out of the box after the bye, the Washington Commanders come to your house and beat you down. They beat them down in your home stadium. So that's the type of loss that's going to sting for a while.
When you look at what that team did do, though, yes, they were the 1 seed. Yes, this is a disappointing loss, and there were issues with turnovers tonight. But that team is incredibly beaten up. I mean, they lost players tonight too. Do you ever look at that and point to that and be like,
I don't use that as an excuse.
No?
I don't use it. Like, that's going to be like the one thing I'm telling people, don't you dare, don't
go there.
Don't do it. Because you know what? Everyone's hurt. And I know the Detroit Lions had a lot of guys banged up and out on the defensive side, but no one cares. No one cares.
And they still got the #1 seed with those injuries, too.
It's hard to get to this point in the season and not have a team that isn't injured or beat.
Right. I mean, listen, you beat down the Minnesota Vikings to get the #1 seed. Like, no one's going to feel sorry for you. No one cares. Washington came into Ford Field with a rookie quarterback and dismantled the Detroit Lions, the #1 seed. Think about this. The Washington Commanders are 1 game away from being in the Super Bowl.
Right. I know. I'm laughing because it doesn't make sense based on their recent history. But again, the turnaround that this franchise has had in less than 2 years is nothing short of remarkable. From the ownership to the coaching staff and obviously to the starting quarterback.
Yeah, listen, I grew up a Washington Commanders fan. And so, you know, it's a proud franchise, a lot of great history, obviously a lot of lean years under the Daniel Snyder era as the owner. But to see new ownership, new coach, and obviously the quarterback reinvigorate that fan base, is just nothing short of spectacular.
We'll have plenty more post-game coming up. We'll hear from those guys as well. But when you watch Jaden Daniels play, and you've watched him evolve throughout the season, like they talked about the poise, they talked about the confidence, what are words that you would use to describe him at this moment?
Killer. Just, I mean, he's I would pay money to go watch him play. He is that exciting, that fantastic. How many guys? I was talking. I was talking to Booman in the green room. I said I've never seen anything like that come into the league. What we've seen from Jaden Daniels this year, and up to this point.
Yeah.
I mean, the poise that this young man has is unparalleled. You don't usually see rookies. Nothing phases him.
Nothing.
You don't see rookies play at the level he's playing ever.
And here's the deal. Like, we're even comparing him to Patrick Mahomes in that regard. Like, Mahomes has been great since he first became a starter in Kansas City. He didn't start his rookie year, but he didn't have the same type of poise. He had ability, but just the presence is different with Jaden Daniels. It's kind of hard to describe unless you've kind of, played sports a lot.
His pulse is like this.
Yeah.
And even he describes it as that way. Like, it's ho-hum. It's just no matter what the play is, it's just another play. It doesn't matter if the game is on the line.
It's impressive to watch.
You know what?
Tiếp tục này. Lại móc vào đây, 4 mũi tiếp này. Mọi người cứ móc 4 mũi một cho mình nhé. Đấy, mọi người cứ móc lần lượt 4 mũi vào. Giờ mình sẽ gỡ thêm len ra để sử dụng nha mọi người. Để mình gỡ len ra. Gỡ hết len ra nhé.